was me, Lottie. I left school at 11. Now I'm a nursery maid for 3 spoiled kids. Victor, who was 7, Louisa, who was 5, and baby Freddie, who was still in petticoats. How I long for my mother's cooking. Every morning and night I have to make sure the children's food is how they like it, or they won't eat it at all. I have to slice the bread so thin, I slice my fingers too, and even then Louisa won't eat her crusts. The baby likes his bread made into mush with warm milk. Yuck! And Victor is extremely picky, always playing with his food. I have to put up with a tiny serving of food. I cannot believe how many toys the children have. Louisa has a china doll, a very grand one, with sapphire eyes, red juicy lips and golden ringlets. Most poor Victorians didn't have toys or gardens. They had fun by playing tag in the street or have a game of catch. Some didn't have balls, so they made them from old rags and pieces of wood for a bat. Schooling was difficult for most families, since most families had up to 10 children. Some parents would be able to afford at least a decent education, which they'd go to a ragged school, normally in one room of a house or in an old barn. You wouldn't believe how cold it was when I went for a walk with the children. I should have offered to teach them for a bit longer instead of doing it tomorrow. I wasn't thinking again. Victor ran ahead with his ball, so I stuck Louisa into the perambulator by Freddie and ran. We raced all the way home, nearly banging into the butcher's boy on the way. He didn't mind. Be careful with that perambulator, miss. It's a dangerous weapon, you know. No one has ever called me miss before, but I just stuck my nose in the air and called him pork chop. Sunday is meant to be a day of rest. Well, ha, there is no rest for me. Freddie wakes up crying and Victor and Louisa come in moaning that they are hungry. It's only 6 in the morning, I tell them. They have to wear their Sunday best, even the baby, and by the time I have them dressed to perfection, my hands are numb, so I can hardly dress myself. It's my Sunday best too, but it's nothing to be proud of. Victor and Louisa never sit still in church, even if I promise applesauce on their pudding. If baby Freddie starts up, I can take him outside and walk him around for a bit. Sunday is such a long, boring day. Everyone wants to eat, so Mrs. Baker is forever serving her meals. Her roast beef and Yorkshire pudding is very popular. The children are bored silly too, because they are not allowed to play with their usual toys. I have to lock Louisa's favourite doll in the cupboard and bring out her grand Sunday doll that came all the way from France. And Victor is not allowed to play any boy games. He has to sit down and read his suitable Sunday storybook. That has instruction, no adventure at all. Dear little Freddie is sick. He was acting a bit strange on Sunday and now he has a fever. It must have been that walk on that frozen day. We are all praying that he will pull through. The reason why most families have up to 10 children is because if one of them is sick, they are most likely to die. We watched over Freddie the whole day and kept giving him herbal tea and dampening his forehead, hoping he will survive, and he did. I'm fascinated by Victorian days. What I have learnt has been most interesting. The hardships some kids suffered was outrageous. This is a very similar life to what my great-great-great-great-grandma Charlotte had.